At 3 a.m., my girlfriend called me, crying. She asked who I was with in the basement. I was in my apartment, 10 miles away, asleep. She told me I had just called her. From the basement of the building where I worked, the one with several sub-basements, the one where I was the only person with a key. She played me the voicemail. I heard myself say goodnight. Then I heard myself start talking again, to a woman, making plans to go skiing, talking about fixing my car, having a conversation I never had, my voice, my inflections, my mannerisms, but it wasn't me. I worked in a building with several sub-basements, the kind of place that feels wrong the deeper you go, fluorescent lights that flicker, hallways that seem longer than they should be, doors that lead to rooms no one uses anymore. I was the only one with a key to the lowest basement. I worked on lab equipment down there, late nights sometimes. Alone. I never liked that basement. The air was heavy. The silence was thick. Sometimes I'd feel like someone was standing behind me. I'd turn around. Nothing. Just empty hallway and the hum of old machinery. But I never had any real reason to be afraid until that night. I was at home, in my apartment, 10 miles away from work. I'd gone to bed around midnight. Normal night. Nothing unusual. My phone rang at 3 a.m. My girlfriend. Her voice was shaking. "Where are you?" she asked. "I'm in bed. What's wrong? Who's with you?" "No one. I'm alone." "What are you talking about?" She started crying. She said I had just called her, from my work number. She answered, but I wasn't talking. She heard me breathing. She heard someone else breathing. Then she heard a woman's voice. She said I was slow, repeating her name over and over, like I was in a trance. Then the line crackled. My voice faded out. Then the call ended. I told her I was home. I'd been home all night. I showed her my phone. No outgoing calls. I showed her my car keys. The car hadn't moved. She didn't believe me. The next day, she played me the voicemail. I heard myself say goodnight. The way I always say goodnight. The same pause. The same inflection. Then the beep. But the message didn't end. I heard static. Then my voice again. But different. The same words, but slower. Like I was talking through water. "Hey, what are you doing?" "I'm going skiing this weekend. I need to fix my car first." "I'm going skiing." "Hey," a woman's voice answered. Quiet. I couldn't make out the words. Then I heard myself laugh. The same laugh. The same rhythm. But wrong. Hollow. The message went on for 3 minutes. I'd never heard it before. I'd never had that conversation. I'd never planned a ski trip. My car was fine. I didn't even own skis. But it was my voice, my laugh, my way of talking. I sat there, staring at her phone, trying to understand what I was hearing. I checked my work phone logs. There was a call from the basement phone at 2:58 a.m. Duration, 4 minutes, 12 seconds. I checked the security footage. The hallway camera showed no one entering the basement that night. The door logs showed no activity. The basement was empty. Locked. No one had been there. But someone had made that call. I asked my girlfriend to play me the voicemail again. She said she deleted it. It was too creepy. She didn't want it on her phone. I asked her if she remembered what the woman said. She said it was hard to hear, static, but she thought she heard the woman say something about a ski trip. And something about waiting. Waiting for what? She didn't know. I've thought about that call every day since. I've tried to find answers. I've researched the building's history. Nothing unusual. I've asked coworkers if they'd ever experienced anything strange in the basement. No one had. But I can't let it go. Who was that woman? What was she waiting for? Why was my voice coming from a basement I wasn't in? Who was talking? Who was laughing? I've considered explanations. A prank. A glitch. A wrong number. Voice synthesis. Sleep talking. Nothing fits. I went back to the basement once. After that night, I stood in the room where the phone was. The air was heavy. The silence was thick. I felt someone standing behind me. I turned around. Nothing. I haven't been back since. My girlfriend and I broke up a few months later. Not because of the call, but it didn't help. She couldn't look at me the same way. She said my voice sounded like mine, but it wasn't. She said it was like talking to a stranger wearing my face. I think about that sometimes. The way she looked at me after, the fear in her eyes, not of me, of what I might be, of what might be wearing me. I still have the same job. I still work late sometimes. But I don't go to the basement. I don't answer the phone after midnight. I don't listen to old voicemails. I don't want to hear my voice again. Not if it isn't me. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder if it was a glitch, a break in reality, a moment when the simulation stuttered and another version of me bled through. A version who goes skiing, who has a woman waiting for him, who calls his girlfriend from a basement he shouldn't be in. I don't know if that's better or worse than the alternative, because the alternative is that I was there. Some part of me. Some other me. A me that lives in the basement. A me that calls my girlfriend in the middle of the night. A me that laughs with a woman whose voice no one can remember. I don't know which me is real anymore, but I know one thing. When my phone rings at 3 a.m., I don't answer. I don't want to hear my own voice on the other end. I don't want to find out what it has to say, because the last time it called, it wasn't me. And I'm afraid next time, it won't leave.
Story 2. I woke up one morning and a year had passed. I didn't remember it. I didn't live it. I just missed it. My wife was gone. My car was different. My job had changed. I had new friends, new habits, a life I didn't recognize. I spent 3 days in that world. 3 days of pretending I knew who I was. 3 days of trying to figure out what happened to my wife. 3 days of watching myself live a life I didn't choose. Then I woke up again, and everything was back to normal. Except for one thing. My wife asked me why I kept calling her by the wrong name. I remember the morning, sunlight through the blinds, the alarm clock on my nightstand. I reached for it to turn it off, and my hand hit something that wasn't there before. A lamp, a different lamp, something I'd never seen. I sat up, the room was the same. The walls, the windows, the closet, but everything was different. The bedspread was wrong, the dresser was wrong, the photos on the wall were wrong. I called out for my wife. No one answered. I walked through the house. Her things were gone. Her clothes, her books, her smell, everything that made the house ours was missing. I found my phone. The date was a year later. I stared at the screen, waiting for it to change. It didn't. I called her number. It was disconnected. I called my mom. She answered. Hey, honey, how's the new place? What new place? Where's Emily? She was quiet for a moment. Emily, honey, you and Emily split up last year, remember? You moved out in August. I didn't remember. I didn't remember anything. I spent that day in a fog. I went to the address my mom gave me, a small apartment across town. I didn't recognize it. There were photos on the walls of people I didn't know, clothes in the closet I'd never bought, books I'd never read. My phone rang, a name I didn't recognize. I answered. A woman's voice, friendly, familiar. Hey, you coming to dinner tonight? Sarah's making that pasta you like. I made an excuse, said I wasn't feeling well. She sounded worried, told me to rest, said she'd call later. I hung up, stared at the phone. I had a life here. Friends, routines, a girlfriend, maybe. A whole year of memories I didn't have. I spent the next 2 days trying to figure out what happened. I went to my old house. A new family lived there. I went to my job. I was on leave. Had been for months. No one would tell me why. I found a journal in my apartment, my handwriting, pages and pages of words I didn't remember writing, about the breakup, about the move, about a woman named Rachel, about plans I didn't remember making. I read the last entry, 3 words, I want out. On the 3rd day, I woke up in my bed, my old bed. The lamp was gone, the photos were back. I reached for my phone. The date was the same as when I'd first woken up in the wrong world. A year earlier, my wife was beside me. She stirred, looked at me. You okay? You were thrashing in your sleep. I stared at her. Her face, her hair, her smell, everything was right. I pulled her close, held her. Told her I loved her. She laughed, said I was being weird. I went to work that day. Normal, boring. I checked my phone constantly, waiting for it to change. It didn't. I went home, made dinner, watched TV, went to bed. Everything was normal. A few days later, I was in the kitchen with my wife. We were talking about vacation plans. She mentioned a place we'd been before. I said something about the trip, and I used the name Rachel. She stopped, looked at me. Who's Rachel? I froze. I didn't know. The name had just come out. I told her I didn't know. I must have mixed it up with something else. She laughed it off. But she looked at me differently after that, like she was waiting for me to say it again. I never did, but I thought about it. The journal, the woman on the phone, the plans I didn't remember making. I never told my wife about the 3 days. I never told her about the apartment, the friends, the life I didn't remember. I never told her about the journal and the words I wrote. I want out. I don't know if that was me, some version of me, some future me, some parallel me. I don't know if I wanted out of my marriage, or out of that life, or out of the glitch itself. But I know her name was Rachel. And 3 days after I came back, I called her. I looked up the number from my phone history, the one that called me in the other world. I dialed it. A woman answered. Hello? I hung up. I don't know why I called. I don't know what I expected. Her voice was the same, friendly, familiar. I haven't called again. I don't want to know who she is. I don't want to know if she's waiting for me. I don't want to know if I'm going to lose my wife and wake up in that apartment again. But sometimes, late at night, I find myself reaching for my phone. And I have to force myself to put it down because I don't know which life is real, the one I'm living or the one I almost lived. And I'm afraid that if I call her, I'll find out. I still think about those 3 days. The apartment, the journal, the woman on the phone, the life I almost had. I don't know if it was a dream, a glitch, a glimpse of a future I avoided, a life I chose against. I don't know if I wanted out. I don't know if I still want out, but I know one thing. When my wife calls my name, I answer. When she asks if I love her, I say yes. When she looks at me with those eyes, I look back because I've seen the other side. I've seen what happens when I'm not here. And I don't want to go back. But sometimes, when she's asleep, I check my phone. I look at the date. I count the days. I make sure I'm still here. And I wonder, when will I wake up again? And where will I be?
Story 3. I never went to that party. I know I didn't. I was with my best friend that night, across town, nowhere near the house where the party happened. But when a friend showed me his photos from that night, I was in the background, smiling, looking right at the camera. I was there, in a place I'd never been, on a night I'd spent somewhere else. And I wasn't the only one who saw it. My friend who took the photo remembered talking to me that night. He remembered my name, remembered what I was wearing. I don't remember any of it. It was a Saturday night. A mutual friend was having a house party. I didn't go. I wasn't in the mood for crowds. Instead, my best friend and I went to a diner across town. We stayed there until late. I have receipts. I have texts. I have her memory of the night. A few days later, a guy I knew from college posted photos from the party on social media. I was scrolling through, liking pictures, when I stopped on one. There I was, in the background, smiling, wearing a blue shirt I owned at the time. I stared at the photo for a long time, zoomed in, tried to find something that proved it wasn't me, but it was me. Same face, same hair, same shirt. I called my best friend, asked her what we did that night. She laughed, said we were at the diner until midnight. Then we drove around. Then I went home. Remember that guy we kept seeing at the diner? The one who wouldn't stop staring, she said. I remembered. We laughed about him. He was there all night. So how was I also at a party across town? I reached out to the guy who posted the photo, asked him about it. He remembered that night. He remembered seeing me. He said we talked for a few minutes near the kitchen. He said I seemed quiet, distracted, not like myself. He sent me the original photo. I downloaded it, zoomed in, stared at my face. It was me. But something was off. The eyes were the same, but the expression was wrong. The smile didn't reach them. I asked my best friend to look at it. She went pale. That's you, she said. But it's not. Ad. What does that mean? I don't know. It looks like you, but it's not how you look. Your eyes are different. She asked if I had a twin. I don't. She asked if I'd been drinking that night. I hadn't. She asked if I remembered being there. I didn't. She looked at the photo for a long time. Then she put her phone down. I don't want to look at that anymore, she said. I tried to find more photos from that night. I asked everyone I knew who was there. I found 3 more pictures where I was visible. In one, I was standing by the door. In another, I was talking to someone whose face I couldn't see. In the third, I was looking out a window. I asked the person I was supposedly talking to. He said he didn't remember the conversation. He said I was quiet, that I left mid sentence, that he thought I was drunk. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't there. I asked my best friend again. She swore we were together that night. She remembered everything. The diner, the guy staring at us, the drive home. She remembered dropping me off at 12:30 a.m. The party photos were time-stamped between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. For 3 hours, I was in two places at once. I deleted the photos. I stopped talking about it. I told myself it was a trick of the light, someone who looked like me, a coincidence. But I know what I look like. I know what I was wearing. I know my face. And that person in the photos wasn't a lookalike. It was me. I've thought about it 1,000 times. I've tried to find an explanation. A glitch in the cameras, a prank, Photoshop, a dream I don't remember living. None of them fit. I still talk to the guy who took the photo. He still remembers me being there. He still remembers our conversation. He still thinks I was quiet that night. I don't know what to tell him. I don't know what to tell myself. Sometimes late at night, I look at old photos. I search for myself in places I don't remember being. I look at my own face, trying to see if I'm really there. I haven't found anything else. No other parties, no other places I wasn't, just that one night. 3 hours, a few photos, but sometimes I wonder, if I was there, where was I? And if I wasn't there, who was? I don't have an answer. I don't think I ever will. I still have the photos saved in a folder I don't open. I don't want to see that face again. The face that looks like me, but isn't. The face that was somewhere I wasn't. The face that smiled at a camera while I was across town eating fries, laughing with my friend. I don't know which version of me is real anymore. The one who was there or the one who stayed.
3 stories, 3 people, 3 moments when time didn't behave. A phone call from a basement that shouldn't have been there. A life lived in a year that didn't happen. A face and photos from a party that was never attended. All of them real, all of them unexplained. If you enjoyed this, hit like. Subscribe for more true stories. And if you have your own story, something that made you question reality, drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.